Hello, Mr. Joe Robert, who is running for Board of Commissioners. I'm Trenton Adams, and welcome to the CCRP candidate interviews. Thank you for taking time out of your campaign to participate in this interview process. We've extended this invitation to all candidates in this race and have found that it has been an asset that aids voters in making their decision. The video will appear on the Cherokee County GOP website, and every effort will be taken to maintain it exclusively on that site. The interview will be shown in its entirety. For the interview, we will ask you around 30 questions, but can offer no prompting. There are no right or wrong answers, only your answers. And we ask each candidate the same questions. If this is all right with you, then I'll have everyone introduce themselves, and then I'll ask Mr. Staber to start asking the questions.
That's fine with me.
Jack Staber. Harry Abrams, welcome, Joe.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having me here tonight.
Thank you. First question, Joe, it's a two-part question. Are you currently a member of the Cherokee County Republican Party? And how do you see your involvement going forward, regardless of the outcome of this election?
I have been a member of the Cherokee County Party for probably 10 years, and I will continue to do so. I believe that a politician in the community should be involved in the community, and the party is an important part of the community, keeping the citizens and the people of the party, which are citizens of the county, in not only involved, but informed on matters that are going on, because you don't know what's going on behind a closed door unless somebody comes out and tells you.
What is your job description as a commissioner?
My job, my interpretation of the job description is first and utmost is to be a representative of the families and the citizens of Cherokee County. As a commissioner, there's a lot of responsibilities that go on there: oversight on the budget, appropriation of money, zoning. There's different things that the commissioner has to be involved in, and particularly budgeting, zoning, and signage. And that's where I would want most to be focused, to make it easier for businesses to locate to Cherokee County, as well as existing, very important, existing. We want new business, but we've got to strengthen the businesses that we have in the county so we keep them. We want to drop the failure rate of new businesses. That's my goal.
Would you oppose public dialogue during a commissioner meeting?
Never. For any reason.
Okay.
If we had to stay till midnight, we would turn on the candles.
What plans do you care to present to prevent the ball ground recycling issue from happening again?
Well, there's three things that had to happen for that boondoggle to happen. There's simply deceit, deception, and misinformation. If a eagle flies across the sky, when it's gone, there's not a trail. If a serpent crawls across a rock, when it's gone, there's not a trail. But if I crouch down in my truck and use an ATM machine, there's a definite trail. If I go to the bank and I take out money, there's a trail in triplicate of everything that I did at that bank. When I take out a loan, when I finance my home, if I spend any money, lawyers are involved, bankers are involved, and everybody's got notarized copies of the paperwork. And that unfortunately didn't happen for some reason, because it should be an easily traceable trail.
Okay, current law states the noise ordinance.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't finish answering that question.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. To keep that from happening, again, you asked, it was a two-part question. To keep it from happening again, I would say that we need to introduce transparency, honesty, and integrity. Thank you.
Not a problem. I apologize for interjecting too soon. Current county law states the noise ordinance is enforced during the hours of 11 p.m. to 6 p.m., or 6 a.m., excuse me, when the marshal's office is closed. Who should one contact during these times for this and other issues like animal control?
I would think that we would have a marshal available, but the sheriff's department would be the natural 911 response in the county. Now, if it was in a city, it'd be the city police, but the marshals, whether or not the marshals should be available, in those hours, I guess is questionable. That again would be a budgetary decision, but I don't think that I would look to increase the police presence. That seems like it would just naturally, when the marshals go to bed, then the sheriff department takes over. I would think that we have the assets to do that in the county.
What is your position on the bill to make certain offices, such as sheriff? What is your position on the bill to make certain offices, sheriff, district attorney, county commissioners, court clerk, nonpartisan?
I don't believe that nonpartisan, if you're nonpartisan, you have a commitment to nobody. As a politician, and listen to my answer, as a politician, I'm in a county that has Democrats, Republicans, and independents. I, as your commissioner, will be responsible to every citizen of my district and this county. Every citizen, whether it's a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent. But I do think that you should be holding to a party for the simple reason that the party has checks and balances, as well as builds camaraderie and association with those elected officials. And those elected officials, if they have integrity, have a responsibility to their party. And I think that's an important part of the political life.
What is your position on term limits?
That's a strange question, but simply my opinion of term limits is that a politician is a servant of the people. When he stops serving the people should stop voting for him. Now, what makes it hard for a new candidate to come in is the political monies and monies that are built up in a candidate that's had 20 years out there, and the percentage of people, I guess, that just go to the ballot just to say they went to the ballot and don't really investigate and check out the candidates that they're voting for. Unfortunately, that happens. But I do think that the people are responsible to the candidates, and the candidates should be responsible to the people.
Are there any conditions under which you would advocate raising millage rates?
No, in fact, I think that one of the things that I aim to do is to lower our property taxes. If we could find the $18 million to do this boondoggle, I think we can find the money to do a lot of good things in the community. And if we think of good things, we can do good things.
What is the unemployment rate in Cherokee County?
I don't have the official number, but I would guesstimate from newspaper articles and things, it's somewhere in the 9%. But it could be a lot lower. Just, if you drive around the county, you see shopping centers and strip malls and businesses that are closed up, and we're working hard to bring in new business down on my end of the county. The southwest tip of the county at 75, there's a business park there with a lot of zoning things going on and different things going on. But I believe that while we need that, we also need to look real hard at our local businesses that are struggling because of signage and zoning issues, where a man that's got a restaurant can't put a banner out in front of his restaurant saying, Tuesday night, I've got spaghetti for $5, bring your family. He has to run an expensive ad in the newspaper that may or may not get seen. Whereas, he's in a strip mall and you gotta remember, we're a rural area and we're Georgia. We came here for the beautiful mountains. Well, beautiful mountains go up and down. So the road, the business may be at a disadvantage to the road for the location of the business. And we can help with that with letting them use creativity in their marketing with signage and, temporary banners. I'm not talking about making it look like a potpourri in the county, but if a business wants to have a sale or something, they'd be able to do it without the county coming around or marshal's office coming around and making threats to them and, costing them fines and everything else. The bottom line is we need to focus on business, really focus on business.
Thank you.
For solutions to the traffic and other infrastructure issues, do you support the regional approach such as the Atlanta Regional Commission or another method of dealing with these issues?
While the regional commission, in my mind, I don't particularly like. I consider it a negative term because it's taking the control in the community away from the community. Now, there may be representatives of the community in that group, but it's a group decision, and what the effects are on our county or our city may not be, if the impact of it may be the most on our city of a project, but we not get the most consideration in the commission. So I think any decision that can be done at the county and city level should be. Now, there's projects with roads and obviously some of the services that we offer, emergency services particularly, that cross the line from the city to the county, but as a whole, I think that it should stay as the local community's responsibility.
There are a number of issues the agriculture industry is facing in Georgia, including water use, state and federal regulation compliance, tax reform, and immigration reform. What is your plan to address these issues for the agricultural community in Cherokee County?
Could you repeat that question?
Sure, gladly. There are a number of issues the agriculture industry is facing in Georgia, including water use, state and federal regulation compliance, tax reform, and immigration reform. What is your plan to address these issues for the agriculture community in Cherokee County?
Well, as far as the agricultural community goes, the regulations that are in place there need to be adhered to. But again, the farmers that are growing the peanuts or whatever their crop is, I know there's an issue right now with Vidalia onions. the farmer should not be taken out of the equation by a politician. If a farmer's gonna have his product ready to be eaten on April 3rd, the politician shouldn't be able to tell him it's gotta stay on the vine until April 3rd. That's just, in my mind, just common sense. And I think, again, the government shouldn't have its hand in everything. A farmer should be able to raise as much of a product that he can, or produce as much of a product that he can to get to market so he can pay his bills, and at the same time, we're reaping the benefit from his work by having dinner on the table. Did I answer that adequately?
Should candidates for public office be required to release their tax records?
Definitely. Most definitely. I have had situations where, I've had things that I've had to deal with, but you got to pay the tax man, and I'm not going to tell you I like it, but you got to pay the taxes. We want the services that we get. We want to have the fire, the police, the roads. So there is taxes involved there, but we shouldn't be a slave to the government for taxes when tax dollars, whether uncollected, and this is something that I got into a debate with several years ago, but if there's taxes out there, I own a small business and have for 18 years. I have to pay all kind of taxes every month, particularly payroll and sales tax. Now they say, the state sales tax, there's millions of dollars uncollected. Well, I say tomorrow morning, get Sheriff Garrison and the marshal together, and let's go get those tax dollars so that the rest of us ain't supporting a business that's in business, making money, but not paying their taxes. I do strongly believe that, you should pay the taxes that are due, if they're due.
Thank you.
Is the county large enough to have a county police force?
Oh, most certainly. Our county, I've been in the county since I left Germany in the Army in 1985 and moved to Cherokee County. And I remember what the sheriff, well, before Garrison was say, and I'm trying to remember the sheriff before him, but, Sheriff Garrison has taken this county a long ways as far as improvements, and we have a good and dependable and reliable sheriff's department. I'm very proud of that. I think that, and they're good people. They're good, they're the sheriff's department. Some cities and counties, you feel like the sheriff's department and the police department is preying on the people. I do not believe we have that situation in Cherokee County. I believe if you get pulled over for something, and maybe you crossed the yellow line, doing something in your car, not paying attention, or went late through a red light, I believe a police officer, when he pulls you over, his objective isn't to try to harass you as much as possible. I believe that if there's a simple situation or something happened, that they look at the situation rather than just look at the ticket book and the money. I really do believe that. I've had nothing but good experiences with our sheriff's department.
What is the commission's role in information infrastructure such as the internet and communications?
Repeat that?
What is the commission's role in information infrastructure such as the internet and communications?
Well, there's a lot of IT people in this county, and when I'm elected, one of the first things I want to do is make our county website more user-friendly, and not user-friendly for the people that use it on the county level, but for the citizens of the county to actually be able to go to the website and find a map or find an event or find the things that they're wanting to do in the community. And as far as, local events, I think that the county website should be a place where different organizations within the county, whether it's a business association or a fundraiser for Woodstock High School or Etowah or any other, school, that they should be able to post those events to a calendar in the county. And I believe that again, is going to build camaraderie in the county. It's going to help with funding in different projects, and it's going to give the people faith in their local government. And I think that's one of the biggest things that is missing right now. I believe that trust and faith in the local government needs to be repaired. And I think that we can do that. I know we can do that. And I look forward to the challenge.
Do you support the public release of the Ball Ground Recycling Center audit?
Absolutely. I do not understand why it was not released the minute it was published. We, the people of Cherokee County, paid for it. We paid for it. We're paying for the boondoggle. We're paying all the bills, as well as paying the salaries of our commissioners. I don't want the money back. I want them to earn the money that they've gotten. Tell us what really happened and show us. Because as I said earlier, there should be a clean and clear paper trail. And the fact that there's not is a shame on this county.
Currently, the legal aid for Cherokee County costs around $700,000. Could this be reduced?
Will you repeat that?
Currently, the legal aid, which is the lawyer, it's the commission lawyer, costs around $700,000. Could this be reduced?
Without looking at the figures and where the money was spent, I would just be hypothesizing. But I would think, especially in an area like that, yeah, there's probably, where are we getting the lawyers? Are they local lawyers? Have we got, lawyers that just do that? I mean, that would be something that we'd have to look at on paper. But I mean, legal aid is important. There's plenty of people in the county that need those services. But yeah, I think as any service in the county, we need to be as thrifty and fiscally responsible as possible.
Do you know what the life of the Ball Ground Recycling Center bond is?
I believe it's either 25 or 27 years. I figure, I'm 52 years old. I figure my son's gonna be my age, and hopefully God gives me a grandson and granddaughter within the next 5 years from my two beautiful kids that were educated here in Cherokee County schools. My grandson will be graduating from college when they finish paying that off. And that is a shame on Cherokee County.
What can the Cherokee County Commission do to spur economic development?
What can the Cherokee County Commission do to spur economic development?
Yes, sir.
Not hold businesses back with zoning issues that are held and delayed. Signage, again, signage is a very big issue. I'm in an industrial park with 81 businesses. We have one 4x8 sign that's been there for 18 years, was taken down when the road was widened, and I had to fight to keep there. I actually stopped DOT from cutting the sign down. The rest of the businesses in that park don't have a sign out there. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Businesses all along Highway 92, again, the road, the elevation of the highway puts businesses at a disadvantage. That is our main thoroughfare, but because of the elevation, it puts their signage at a disadvantage. And there are things that can happen that would ease that burden. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we need to look at. The number one thing that I think we need to look at is how can we make it easier for not bringing in $1 million company. Those will come. It's a lot more profitable and better for the community to help the businesses that are in business that have 5 or 6 employees or 40 employees. Grow that company that's already established 10%, 15%, 20%.
Cherokee County currently owns a number of properties. Should these be sold?
Again, I don't have a list of what the properties are, but yes, Cherokee County is not a real estate company. So I don't think that Cherokee County, well, while we need to invest in projects and we need to have some foresight of the things that we are trying to accomplish, I understand acquiring properties for that purpose. But to buy a piece of property just because the money's in the bank and, you know, to have properties that have been on the books and, you know, well, 3 commissions ago, they were going to do this with it and the economy changed and that didn't work. I think that needs to be looked at, as well as, again, the land use plans and the Bells Ferry corridor plan. I'm very big on Bells Ferry corridor. I think that bridge going across Little River, the Little River Bridge going across Bells Ferry at the river, at the lake, I think that bridge should have long been replaced. School buses can't use it, and it's a narrow bridge. Even if you're, you know, towing your boat going out to the lake, it gets scary. If 2 boats hit that bridge about the same time, it's scary. And there's not a reason why that bridge, they've been talking about that as long as I've been here. And, you know, we've been promised that it was going to happen. But that's in a plan called the Bells Ferry corridor. But it keeps getting hyped up and then dropped, hyped up and dropped. And I think somebody needs to grab a hold of that. I'm willing to do it and put everything together to make it happen.
Do you support a T-Splosh initiative?
No, I vehemently oppose the T-Splosh.
Where could the county budget be trimmed?
That's I think you could take a pair of hedge clippers to it. Again, if they could find the money to do this Bobo boondoggle, they've either got way too much time or way too much money. And I would love to see which one it is. That's probably a combination of both. We're supposed to be business people that are working to help the community to grow, as well as solve the problems for the people, and to represent the people and make decisions. You know, as a commissioner, I'm going to have to make decisions that not everybody's going to like, but I hope 98.6% will like them. But, you know, there's just a lot of different areas that, you know, we're going to have to look at, and I'm going to have to make a decision on the behalf of everybody else, and that will be made with common sense being the number one factor.
Do you support interbasin transfers of water?
I really don't, the way that, put it this way, the way that the water is controlled, I mean, we have to be mindful of, you know, the fish downstream, as well as the use of water in our lakes for recreation, plus for our water table and for our water supply. So I guess that would be to answer your question straight, that would be something that I would probably have to look at on paper. But as a general rule, I think that the water use has to be shared. God gave us a bunch of water, you know, and a lot of plans went into effect because we weren't going to have no water and prices of water shot through the roof. Now we've got plenty of water. You know, we're not in a drought situation. So, you know, maybe some of the things are different, but also the way that Lake Altoona, and it's another issue that's sort of ignored, the Corps of Engineers' great book, as it's referred to as, I think the plan was wrote back in the 50s. And, you know, this was a different community in the 50s. And it was a different lake in the 50s. So that probably, I know you say the Corps of Engineers, people's ears perk up, but there's plenty of concern over the use of Lake Altoona. And I believe that's something that probably needs to be looked at. How exactly to go about that at this point, I don't know. But when I change this from candidate to commissioner, I guarantee you I will find out.
What is the current state of the Aquatic Center's bond and finances?
My knowledge of the Aquatic Center is that it's not profitable. Whether the Aquatic Center was a good idea, I guess would be questionable to the community. I know there's issues in the community adjacent to the property surrounding the Aquatic Center. So, you know, I think maybe that Aquatic Center might have been would like to have, but probably not we should have or we need. The problem is, and the situation is, we have it. So now we need to figure out, not just say, well, it's just a check we're writing every month like the boondoggle, you know, figure out what we can do to make it profitable. You know, is there a way to turn that around? You know, there's a lot of communities around the county that people don't have access to a swimming pool. What if you went into the communities and said, hey, for $99, you can get a family access for the swimming pool? You know, I don't know why that, you know, the homeowners association in a lot of subdivisions would probably jump at that idea, and that would turn that negative into a positive. Because like I said, the money's already been spent.
What is the current state of the county?
Well, if you listen to the county commission, it's great. And I live and work on Highway 92 within, my business is on one side of Dixie Speedway, my home is on the other. And I've lived there since 1985. I bought the house in 86, but I've lived here since 85. As far as the county goes, the county has grown, and in a lot of ways beautifully, but there's a lot of areas that, particularly with roads and with access, that have not followed suit to the growth in the community. So, you know, and then we've got this boondoggle, which is $110,000 a month. You know, that's a lot of improvement that could have been done. Again, if it was just good thoughts and good deeds, a lot of things could have been done. So I couldn't agree with our commissioner when he says the county's in great shape. not with that $110,000 a month mystery. And what I'm concerned about, if our commission did the boondoggle with $18 million, what did they do with a measly 500,000 here, 100,000 there, 25,000 here? I think the stewardship of our cash needs to be more protected and looked at a little bit harder. And I believe that would happen through transparency. A budget's a wonderful thing, and I did look at the budget, and I was thinking 140 million was the figure I remember. I may be wrong in that, but I think that's what I remember. But I believe that the budget, I think was like 30-something, 38 pages or something. While that sounds like a lot, there's areas that are generalized that I think should be broken down more so we could see where that 57 million went or that 2 million went, you know, like a line item per se. So not, you know, transportation cost us $38 million, you know, was there a yacht thrown in there? You know, what did the money go for?
Thank you. A few tough questions. Have you ever had any license revoked or not renewed for cause, or been subject to professional discipline or cited for breach of ethics or unprofessional conduct by any bar association, disciplinary committee, court, administrative agency, or other professional group? Or have you been expelled from any organization? And if so, please explain.
No, the only thing that I could think of that I have right now in detriment is my permit to carry has not been renewed. And I just became aware of that about 2 weeks ago, but I will get to the sheriff's department and redo that. But other than that, I know of none and have had none. I'm a member of the Automotive Service Association, the SAE, the Cherokee County Party, my church, and no, to my driver's license, I've had a chauffeur's license most of my life, and I know I've got a motorcycle permit. So no, I don't believe, no, I've never been expelled from anything. I'm usually welcomed back with open arms.
Have you or has any organization or business under your control ever declared a bankruptcy or been sued or currently facing liens or other financial issues?
No, I presently have no issues like that. I've never filed for bankruptcy, or I've worked too hard for that. You know, my business has supported me and my family, like I said, for 18 years. I ain't gonna tell you it was easy. I've spent a lot of nights in the garage working on cars and weekends, but you know, the bills had to get paid, the taxes had to get paid, and the kids had to eat. So no, I've never filed bankruptcy, and that would be a devastating move for me. And I do have sympathy for people that have had to go through it for real reasons, but I have disdain for people that think that it's a business tool, if that's the right word, because I don't think it is, and I don't think it should be.
Have you ever been arrested for or convicted of any crime excluding minor traffic offenses?
No.
Could you please describe one instance in which you faced an ethical dilemma and how you resolved it?
An ethical dilemma. I really can't think of a personally, are you talking about a personal ethical? No, I really can't think of anything that I've ever faced in that, you know. I mean, I've had situations where I've, you know, if a customer was dissatisfied with work that we did on a car or something along those lines, I would do whatever it took to make the person happy. Like my business has been a member of the Better Business Bureau since I've been in business, and I've never had a Better Business Bureau complaint. So no, I can't think of anything that would fall into that.
Thank you. Are you currently connected to any outstanding unpaid taxes in any way?
No, no, definitely not.
And is there anything else we should know that has not been addressed? And this is your time to address the voters or say anything you'd like to them as well.
I'm just, would like to say that I would like your vote to become your voice on the Cherokee County Commission. I'm a business owner of 18 years, a veteran, and I understand what it is to raise a family and do all the things that you do to support your business, whether it's working for somebody or building and trying to maintain your own business. And I've loved the challenge of being a small business owner, and I'd like to be the next commissioner in this county, and I will be your voice, and I will be your representative. And you will see me in your business. You will see me on the streets and in businesses and in restaurants, and I will be open to whatever's needed. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming and spending time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.